Welcome to Narrator Stories Recaps, the channel where we explore the most intriguing and thought-provoking films from around the world. Today, we'll dive into Cure by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, a haunting psychological thriller that examines crime, hypnosis, and the fragility of the human mind. The film opens with Detective Kenichi Takebe visiting his wife, Fumi, in a psychiatric hospital. Fumi suffers from schizophrenia, and her worsening condition weighs heavily on Takebe. Despite his reassurances, her fragmented responses highlight her mental struggle. This poignant scene sets up Takebe's dual challenges, unraveling a series of gruesome murders and coping with the emotional toll of his wife's illness. The first murder unfolds with a factory worker walking with his mistress. What begins as a casual interaction takes a dark turn when the man suddenly attacks her, killing her in a shocking act of violence. He then carves a large X into her neck, a deliberate and grotesque detail. When the police arrive, they find the man calm and compliant. He confesses to the crime but cannot explain his motive, insisting he doesn't know why he acted. This murder introduces a pattern of motiveless killings marked by the X, creating a chilling psychological mystery for Takebe and his team. Detective Takebe, alongside forensic psychologist Sakuma, discusses the perplexing case. The killer's lack of emotion and inability to explain his actions leave them deeply unsettled. The X carved into the victim's neck hints at intent and symbolism, prompting Sakuma to suggest a deeper psychological force may be at play. Takebe, he admits to the murder but can't explain why. There's no motive, no emotion. Sakuma, the X is deliberate. It's not random. It has meaning. The randomness of the crimes and the eerie calmness of the killers suggest something beyond ordinary violence. Sakuma theorizes that the perpetrators may have been manipulated or coerced, possibly through hypnosis or a psychological trigger. Sakuma, could the killer have been influenced or hypnotized into committing this act? Takebe, that would explain the lack of motive and strange calmness. But who has the power to do that? As they delve deeper, the investigation grows more unsettling. The possibility of psychological manipulation looms large, pushing Takebe into a dark and dangerous exploration of the human mind. The case becomes more than a search for a murderer, it's a chilling dive into the fragile boundaries of free will and control. Setting the tone for the psychological thriller that follows through Takebe's journey, Cure masterfully intertwines personal and professional struggles, creating a tense and haunting exploration of the human psyche. Mamiya's introduction. We are introduced to Kunio Mamiya, a drifter with a peculiar aura. Mamiya appears lost and confused, claiming to have severe memory loss. His unsettling demeanor and cryptic speech hint at something far darker beneath his seemingly harmless exterior. Mamiya encounters a schoolteacher on the beach. The teacher, noticing Mamiya's disoriented state, invites him home out of pity. As the two talk, Mamiya begins asking repetitive, probing questions about the teacher's identity, such as, "Who are you? And do you know yourself?" The interaction takes a chilling turn as Mamiya hypnotizes the teacher using a flickering lighter. In a trance, the teacher brutally kills his wife with a blunt object. Moments later, he regains consciousness, horrified by what he has done. Overcome with guilt and confusion, the teacher jumps out of the window to his death. Investigation into the teacher's murder. Detective Takebe investigates the shocking murder of a teacher who killed his wife. The teacher had no history of violence, and the crime seemed completely out of character. Takebe struggles to understand why someone would commit such a brutal act without a clear motive. Takebe, there's no reason for this. What triggered him? The link to Mamiya. As Takebe delves deeper, he uncovers a disturbing pattern. The teacher had recently encountered Kunio Mamiya, just like the other killers. Takebe begins to suspect Mamiya's involvement in these murders. The psychological puzzle. Takebe realizes that these murders aren't random. The killers seem to be manipulated by some external force. He wonders if the teacher, like the others, was influenced by Mamiya to commit murder. This revelation pushes Takebe closer to uncovering the psychological manipulation at the heart of the case, setting the stage for the chilling events to follow. Mamiya's capture and hypnosis of the police. In the next scene, Mamiya is sitting on the roof of a house. A police officer sees him, arrests him, and takes him to the police station for interrogation. There are only two policemen at the station. Both interrogate Mamiya repeatedly, but he remains silent. Suddenly, Mamiya lights a lighter and starts asking the policemen questions. One of the policemen begins to respond as if he is possessed. The next day, Mamiya is taken to a mental hospital by the policeman. However, one of the policemen at the station shoots the other officer who worked with him. That same policeman later finds Takebe and starts interrogating him. Despite all his questions, the policeman claims he doesn't know the answers. Takabe then asks him if anything strange happened the previous day. The policeman tells him about Mamiya. Takabe are looking for him and going to the mental hospital. The doctor tries to treat him, but Mamiya hypnotizes her, causing the doctor to follow his commands. Mamiya then leaves the room. When the doctor comes to her senses, she puts an X symbol on the wall. Later, the doctor goes to the toilet and kills someone, marking an X symbol on the victim. The police eventually discover this and arrest Mamiya, placing him in custody. Takabe takes Mamiya into custody and starts questioning him. Takabe, if you are involved in all the mysterious murders that have happened, what is your connection to those murders? Mamiya, I didn't do anything. Takabe, you went to the teacher's house and your fingerprints were found. Is it polite to tell me that? Mamiya starts questioning Takabe. Takabe shows Mamiya a photo and asks who this is. He doesn't even recognize the photo. Takabe asks why he killed so many people. I don't know anything now. Takabe, frustrated, is calmed down by Sakuma and sent home. This is how work life is, and personal life is even worse. Takabe goes to home and eat. When he sees the curry still on the plate, uncooked, he thinks, this is so bad. Takabe considers killing his wife, but then realizes they are all trapped in Mamiya's clutches. So, Takabe decides to take his wife to a mental hospital and leaves. The final investigation. Takabe starts questioning Mamiya again. That's when Takabe notices a huge scar on his back. Sakuma tells him that scars like that are common among people who work in metal factories. Takabe goes to the factory and asks about it. Then, Takabe visits the house where Mamiya is staying and looks inside. There are many books related to psychology and hypnosis. There is a strange word written over and over again. While Takabe is looking around the house, a dead monkey appears. There is an X symbol on the monkey's chest. Takabe tells Sakuma to inquire about the mysterious words on the note. Sakuma and Takabe's investigation takes a more sinister turn after they examine a videotape showing the mysterious man, speculated to be Suejiro Bakuro, who is believed to be the originator of Japanese mesmerism as outlined in Mamiya's literature. The video features a female subject, hypnotized by Bakuro, who gestures an X in the air. This act leads to a tragic outcome, as the woman later kills her son in a manner eerily similar to the violent crimes Takabe and Sakuma are investigating. Sakuma, intrigued by the idea of mesmerism, theorizes that the crimes are tied to a long-forgotten past, influenced by Bakuro's mysterious powers. He refers to Mamiya as a missionary of ceremonial murders, suggesting that Mamiya is carrying out a twisted form of ritual murder rooted in ancient practices. As Sakuma delves deeper into this theory, he becomes increasingly paranoid. He begins drawing an X in black paint on his wall. This marks the beginning of his mental unraveling. Sakuma starts experiencing vivid hallucinations, including visions of Takabe menacingly cornering him. His once rational mind is overtaken by the very influence he was investigating. Days later, the police discover Sakuma's body, handcuffed to a pipe in his own home. The authorities quickly conclude that it was a suicide, though the circumstances suggest otherwise. His apparent descent into madness and his eventual death hint that the hypnotic influence has taken its toll on him, just as it did on others before him. Mamiya's escape. Meanwhile, Mamiya manages to escape from prison, killing a police officer in the process. His escape marks a significant turning point in the investigation, as Takabe now knows that Mamiya is at the center of the chaos and must be stopped. Takabe tracks Mamiya to a deserted building, where the two confront each other. After a tense standoff, Takabe shoots Mamiya. As Mamiya is dying, he draws an X in the air in front of Takabe, a final gesture that suggests the ongoing power of the mesmerism that has infected everyone involved in this dark mystery. Takabe explores the building further and stumbles upon an old phonograph cylinder. He plays it, and a male voice, presumably that of Bakuro, is heard on the recording. The voice repeats hypnotic instructions that resonate with the strange occurrences and murders linked to the X. Takabe's discovery of the phonograph suggests that the influence of Bakuro, the originator of this hypnotic power, is still at work, guiding those who listen to its call. The connection between Mamiya and Bakuro, though tenuous, is becoming clearer with every discovery. Shortly after Takabe's discovery, the already decomposed corpse of Fumi is found by a nurse. The body bears a horrific mark, an X carved violently into her throat, reinforcing the idea that the influence of Bakuro's mesmerism is still controlling and manipulating those caught in its web. Fumi's death, like the others, is a grim reminder of the brutal and inexplicable violence that is being orchestrated by a power far beyond human control. The story reaches a chilling conclusion in a restaurant. where Takabe is being served by a seemingly normal waitress. After she serves him, she walks away, but Takabe notices something strange. Several other staff members whisper to her, and she silently draws a knife. This quiet, disturbing moment implies that the influence of the hypnotic X is spreading, and that Takabe is now in danger. The waitress's unsettling action suggests that the hypnotic power has infected more than just the people directly involved in the case. Those around them are also being drawn into this deadly, invisible force. This sequence of events paints a picture of a horrific cycle: hypnotic control, violent deaths, and the relentless spreading of an ancient power through modern-day Japan, where even the most mundane encounters carry the potential for violence and madness. Takabe's investigation, which started as an attempt to solve a series of murders, has led him into a world of dark hypnotism that shows no signs of stopping. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the Narrator Stories channel for more inspiring stories and thought-provoking content.